So maybe you're ready to add a little bit of style, a little bit of class into your carry. Or maybe you're just looking for something a little bit more professional looking, more designer looking. This might be the bag for you. So let's get into it. How's it going, friends? If you're new here, welcome. I'm John and this is Unpack'd. On this channel, we unpack all the details about different backpacks, slings, everyday carry items, and other travel related gear. Now, if you like content like that, or you find any value in today's video, please consider hitting like and subscribe, as that directly supports the channel. Thank you. So today we're going to be looking at the Maverick & Co. Maximus All-Day Backpack. Now, Maverick & Co. is a carry company that's carving their way into the carry world by delivering some of the most premium and high-end looking bags. They're definitely taking the designer approach to their carry. Now, they offer several different bags, but everything's going to have a hint of elegance, a hint of class. Very professional looking carry brand. So starting with the bag's overall dimensions, it stands at 16.5 inches tall. It measures about 12 inches across and it has a depth of 5.5 inches. Now, when I measured this with my own tape measure, it came closer to 6.5 inches when you include that outer pocket. So again, not a very deep bag. So that's gonna make this like a sweet spot of carry given the size. So if you're a really small person, the bag's not gonna look too big on you. And if you're a really larger frame or taller person, it's not gonna look like a child's backpack on you. In my opinion, this is a sweet spot of carry for all types of people and all types of frame sizes. Now, with those measurements, it has a listed capacity of 21 liters, and it's been my experience when using the bag, it feels a little bit tighter than 21 liters. Maybe the main compartment is closer to like 18 liter-ish, and if you include all the outside pockets, that's how you get to 21 liters. Again, no real scientific method of measuring, it's just how it felt and how it feels to me compared to other 21 liter bags that I've used in the past. This Maximus All-Day Backpack is supposed to be Maverick & Co.'s kind of like do-it-all backpack, your commuter, your daily carry, and maybe even a little bit of light weekend travel. So this is on the larger end of their bags. So when I weighed this bag on my own scale here, it came in at about 2.4 pounds. So not too bad for a 21 liter size bag. It's not the lightest, it's definitely not the heaviest, but when you consider all the materials that are used in this bag's construction, it'll justify that weight a little bit, but overall, it's still not too bad at 2.4 pounds. Now, currently at the time of filming, this bag's available in 3 different colors: a brown, navy, and the black that I have for you today. It does have a listed retail for 274 USD, but Maverick & Co. is always running some kind of sale, some kind of promotion. You can even save like 10% by signing up for their newsletter. And they were even nice enough to give me a discount code for you guys, the viewer. So if you're interested in that, or if you're interested in the bag, I'm gonna put that code down in the description below. So again, right now at the time of filming, this bag is actually listed at $219 on sale. So again, always check the website for the most current and up-to-date pricing. So for that $219, you're gonna get the bag itself, and also included in the box is this nice little dust cover. So that's pretty nice of them to include that dust covers to put your bag in and store when you're not using it. So when you start getting into those higher end bags, those luxury bags, those designer bags, they're gonna come with the dust cover. So I'm glad that Maverick & Co. included that in the box. Now, with all things included, this bag does come with a 1-year manufacturer's warranty. So what I have here is my personal item sizer box. This is a common size used amongst airlines, but not every airline uses this size. So always double check with your airline specifically before you fly. But it's been my personal experience that a 21 liter bag is gonna pass as a personal item, fit under the seat, no problem, across any airline in the world. But just to confirm, since I already have the box built, let's see if the Maximus All-Day Backpack will indeed pass as a personal item. And no problem, easily fits into the box with room to spare. It's gonna make a great companion to your roller luggage, easily fit under the seat in front of you, should on any airline. With this being my very first backpack for Maverick & Co., I really wasn't sure what to expect from a $200 luxury designer backpack, but I'm happy to report that from the moment of unboxing through the course of my testing, the quality has been fantastic. I haven't found any loose threads, misaligned stitching anywhere on the bag. But what I did find is the reinforcement stitching that you want to see in a backpack. So where the shoulder straps meet the bag, you have double stitching, and where the shoulder straps meet the webbing down at the bottom for adjustments, you do have box stitching to reinforce everything, as far as carrying and the harness system. So again, those are all signs of good quality, good construction. The bag should hold up over, pretty well over time. And again, through the course of my testing, the quality has just been fantastic. Now this bag's aesthetic is a take on the classic rucksack design, so it's going to be a top-loading backpack. Now most luxury brands, whether it be Louis Vuitton or Prada, they're always going to do a take on a classic rucksack or a classic book bag. So this is right in line with all the other luxury brands. I previously reviewed the Carl Friedrich rucksack as well. So I like to review bags that I like. So of course, when it came to Maverick & Co, I chose to go with the rucksack because I like top-loading backpacks. I have my M23 top loader right there, and of course my Azo top loader backpack right there. So the classic rucksack design is a classic for a reason. I really enjoy it. Now I fully understand that top loading backpacks are not for everybody, but if you haven't tried one, I highly recommend that you try one, especially if you're looking for something in a luxury style, a premium style, or designer bag style. The rucksack design just has so much classiness to it, especially when it's dressed up with like leather accents and metal zippers, everything, to kind of give it that extra spice. But overall, the aesthetic of this bag is gorgeous. I love this bag, especially with these leather accents, which we're going to get here into the materials here in one more section. But overall, the aesthetic, again, it's a classic design. It's classic for a reason, and I just love the look of this bag. So the primary material on this bag is going to be a high performance vegan leather. Now, I really don't know what constitutes as a high performance vegan leather versus a low performance vegan leather, but that's just simply what is listed on the website as. So everywhere on this bag, the top, the lid, the front are all that vegan leather, and the other material that you're going to find accenting on the sides and the top here, it's going to be simply listed as a water resistant nylon. So I did notice this material is a little bit rougher, and it tends to pick up pet and dust hair a little bit. So if you do decide to buy this bag, you may find yourself occasionally hitting these portions of the bag with like a lint roller. Now it's not like a super magnet, but if you do own a cat or a dog, it will pick up a hair or two over time, and that's been my experience. So starting with some of the exterior features, you are going to have 2 water bottle pockets on each side of the bag. They are again accented with that vegan leather, and you have this external pouch on the front that has its own dedicated volume. Now this is a pocket here, and it also has like a little secret pocket on the inside that you can fit. Now they advertise it for a passport or wallet. It's a very, slim pocket, but I know most travelers and most people have a concern for pickpocketing, so you would probably never put your wallet or passport in that area there. So if you do decide to use that little slim front pocket, best left for smaller, slimmer items. So there is this external latch point on the front of the bag here, and that's so you can add a customized leather luggage tag that you can also purchase for an additional cost on their website. So you can put your, initials and stuff and have the luggage tag hanging there. Again, it will be a nice vegan leather as well to match the bag. So that's a pretty cool little thing there. Alternatively, you can clip whatever you want on that little D-ring there on the front. So this is a top-loading backpack, but when you open the lid, it doesn't directly lead you into the inside of the bag. It's still closed. This lid fastens simply by magnets. It'll snap onto the front. So pretty cool there, but the flap is kind of more so for just aesthetics. You still have to unzip the top lid to get into the bag. Nice little feature to give it, an overall rucksack look. I like it, and I like the fact that they use magnets, so it's just easy to get into the top without having to do undo more buckles or anything like that. The bottom of the bag is very structured. It has a kind of like a frame sheet or something at the bottom to provide support. Now it's all vegan leather, so over time, this bottom portion here, I picked up a little bit of battle wounds over my course of testing there, but that's going to be any leather bag, whether it be vegan or non. So this bottom is all protected with that vegan leather, but do expect to pick up some patina, some scratches, some marks over time the more you use this bag. But again, very well structured. There is something in there to give it structure, and the bag stands up on its own perfectly. Whether it's fully loaded or completely empty, the bag will stand on its own because of that structured bottom. When it comes to the zippers, I really couldn't find the name brand of the zippers on the website or on the zippers themselves, but everything works as intended, very, very smooth, because none of the zippers are PU coated, not even on the laptop compartment on the back. So if something to consider if you need water resistance, you're probably not going to find that too much on this bag here, as none of the zippers are PU coated. Moving along to the back panel, you do have a nice vegan leather handle here. Now there's no additional padding, but it's a good size, makes the bag easy to grab. Your individuals with larger hands will have no problem using this handle here. And you do have the external laptop compartment on the back. Again, no PU coated, so it's super smooth, super easy to get into. And when you open that up, it reveals the nylon interior of the inside, but there's no additional organization or anything on the inside of this laptop compartment. It's just a sleeve for your laptop. Nicely padded, but there's one thing to note. It is suspended, but barely. You know, it's listed on the website as being a 1/2 inch suspended, but it's more like a 1/4 inch suspended. So I would still be very careful when you put this back down to not slam your machine, but technically it is suspended. Now moving to the back panel, you have straight straps here. There is no contour or no ergonomics to the straps. And you're going to find that on most bags in that designer category. They just have simple, plain, straight straps. But they are nicely padded, a good amount of padding on both sides. Now the material on the straps itself is a little bit different. Kind of feels like a ballistic nylon, a lot smoother. So it's not going to, if you're wearing a sports coat or anything like that, it's not going to rough up your jacket or your professional clothing. Nice smooth material on the underside of the straps, nice pads. Overall, the comfort of the straps felt pretty good given the size of the bag. At the bottom of the straps, you are going to have some color matched gunmetal hardware here. It's like aluminum hardware. Again, adding to that overall premium feeling of the bag. You do have the smooth seatbelt webbing type material, and they even give you little, vegan leather strap keepers. And that adds to the bag's overall premium feeling of the bag in general. Now when it comes to the back panel, it is a straight, smooth back panel. It does have air mesh with cushion, and these lines here make it seem like there's some airflow, but that's more for just stitching of the back panel. Now while it is comfortable, I do wish the breathability on this bag was a little bit better, but overall, given the size of the bag, it's not too bad, but at least it's nice, air mesh, and well padded. So when it comes to the bag's interior features, it does offer quite a bit of organization. On the inside of this pocket here, you have 2 sewn-in drop-ins on the backside here. They're not stretchy, and then you have do have a premium key leash here with more of that gunmetal hardware, nice aluminum color match to the bag. Very nice touch there. And some of the simple little touches that I like on this bag, as you can see right here on the back side, it has that leather accent across the top of the bag, sealing up the pocket. Again, nice little touch to give that bag a more of a premium feeling. And of course, you do have that external separate laptop compartment that we showed earlier with that nice gray interior, nice padding, easy pocket to get your laptop in and out without having to get into the top side of the bag. Top loading backpacks are always hard to demonstrate on camera for myself, but I'll do the best that I can. On this front side here, you have a document pocket that can fit a binder, folders on this side, and then in front of that you have a tablet sleeve that you can, put your iPad and stuff in there. And at the very bottom of that, you have a mesh pocket way down at the bottom that runs the entire length of the bag. I don't know if you can quite see that on camera. It's kind of hard to get it in there, but you do have that mesh pocket at the bottom. But the mesh pocket is not stretchy. It's just a basically net pocket where you can kind of see what you put into that pocket. So I did wish that was stretchy material, but it is what it is. It's down at the bottom. And on the opposite side of that, you're going to have another pocket across the back, smaller in size. It kind of seeps into the front of the bag. And below that pocket, there's that pocket there. Below that pocket, you're going to have 2 more drop-ins and 2 pen slots at the bottom there. Again, you have the leather accents on everything on those pockets as well, even though they're on the inside. And then on the inside of the flap there, you are going to have the Maverick&Co tag on the inside, and that's really the only place they have their logo. Besides on the lid, they do have an embossed Maverick&Co stamp right on the lid, but very minimal branding, very clean look to the bag. I love that they put the logo on the inside versus a big patch on the outside to keep the classiness of the bag. So sorry, I'm trying my best to demonstrate the inside of a rucksack, but I always find it difficult to capture everything you need to capture because sometimes they're a black hole, and I'm glad they used a gray interior here to give you a little bit of contrast to find your gear. So getting to the loadout portion, I kind of piled all the stuff that I carried in this backpack here. Of course, your mileage is going to vary, so try to imagine what you would carry. But in that top zippered pocket there is where I like to carry my wallet. Now I use a Wayfinder billfold wallet there. I like to carry it on the inside of my backpack. I know they advertise this is a wallet pocket up front, but most people I know probably won't carry it there. So there's the zipper pocket on the inside. added more protection because it's a zippered pocket within a zipper pocket, but wallet down in there, and I still have plenty of room, and that's where I chose to carry my electronics. So I switched my electronic carry up a little bit. I have the Anchor 3-in-1 UFO, charges your phone, AirPods, and watch all in one. I have the cord for that, and then the U-Green 65-watt charger to power all that. So all that goes into the zippered pocket on the inside of the main cavity there. And I carry a lunch. You know, I use this Carhartt Slim lunch box when I test these smaller backpacks because they work great in these small backpacks. It's very thin. And then on the back side, you do have that folder document pocket there, or as Chase would say, a place for your business papers. But I put my iPad on the very back of that pocket. And then on the front, which would be the iPad pocket, I actually just carried my Moleskin notebook in that front pocket there. The more you get to use this bag, you get to learn how your stuff fits in there fairly well. Now, next to my lunch, I put my electronics that I needed for my laptop. I have my big bulky charger, my wired mouse. I have this D-Mate dop. It's a little bit longer in size, but thinner, and it'll easily fit next to my lunch. No problem. Kind of like perfectly made for this bag with that lunch bag and that D-Mate dop kit right next to each other. Now that's all I carried in the main compartment. I still have a lot of space at the top, which was perfect for me because I like to carry a light sweater sometimes because I do get cold in the office, and it was the perfect amount of space because this is not a very packable light sweater, just a light duty sweater, nothing fancy, but it fit perfect in there, capping off the top of the bag and filling out the entire bag. So closing this bag up is always going to be a two-step process. You got to zipper it closed and then close with the flap. But luckily, because of the magnets, it self-aligns and it'll self-attach. Very nice, pretty simple, pretty easy with the magnets on the front. So since the zippered compartment on the front has its own volume, it's a good spot to put bulkier items. So I would carry in the back pocket there, I had my spare battery, my Anchor MagSafe battery fits in one of the drop-ins. And then of course, my little dental kit that I carry, for little floss and stuff in the other drop-in pocket on the other side. And I still have a good amount of space at the front, and I carried my med kit that I carry everywhere. This is my garage build gear Mighty XL pouch that fits in there because of the dedicated volume, fits in there. Then of course I have room for a couple of snacks. And then I always carry a little flashlight of some sorts. And right now I'm in love with the Olight O-Clip Pro. Very nice little compact flashlight, USB-C rechargeable of that. I toss that right on the front as well. You just still have that key leash in there, but it gets kind of tight. So I actually didn't keep my keys in there at all. I just kept them, either in the main compartment when I got to the office or just in my pocket. But that pocket's loaded out. So since this pocket's fully loaded out, that slim pocket in the front is almost like unusable. So I know they advertise for you to put your wallet in there or your passport. I know most people won't actually do that, but it's not very usable anyway because I packed the inside compartment so much. Now, when it comes to the laptop compartment, there's two different sizes of this bag, a 14 and a 16, and that's supposed to fit your different size machines. Now, I personally carried a 14-inch laptop that fit in here no problem. And I found that this 16-inch version with the 16-inch MacBook Pro, now this is my wood mock-up to the exact specimens of a 16-inch MacBook Pro, it fits in there, but it's extremely snug. And you can close the zippers, but they barely make it around the corners. And I think if you were to carry a laptop like this on a regular basis, you may not want to struggle with it that much to get it in and out. So that is a mock-up of a 16-inch MacBook Pro. A little bit of a struggle to get it in and out. It's very tight. So just a word of caution there. If you carrying a bigger, larger machine, the 16-inch, while it does fit, it's very tight. Now with my 14-inch HP, no problem, fits in there very easy with plenty of room to spare. When it comes to the water bottle pockets, they do contain a little bit of elastic at the top to allow them to stretch out so that it doesn't push into the bag too much. But the bottom is just gusseted with regular material, not elastic. So that means only the top portion is actually flexible and the bottom part is just a gusset. And it's only on the back side and not on the front. So what that does to the bag, it gives it kind of a unique shape of the water bottle pocket, but it also restricts the kind of bottles that you can use given the functionality of it. So I normally carry a 26-ounce bottle, but because of the way the bottle pocket is constructed, it's extremely tight, if I can even get it in there. I mean, it technically does fit, but as you can see, it hangs out and kind of points to the side. So it doesn't give a lot of confidence when carrying it that it's gonna stay there. It's got a V shape rather than like a bucket shape for the whole bottle to fit in there. So I was forced to use a smaller bottle when carrying this backpack, but that doesn't change the construction. It still has that same. So here's the 20-ounce bottle, a lot slimmer than this Yeti. This is the mere 20 ounce, and it fits in there better, sits down at the bottom a little bit better because it's a smaller bottle, but it's still only very shallow, and it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't leave a lot of confidence when carrying that it's gonna stay. Now, it didn't actually fall out on me, but I wish I could have used my bigger bottle because that one definitely would have fallen out. But it fits. I just wish this pocket was constructed just a bit different to allow the bottle to sit in there a little bit better. So when it comes to the bag's comfort, the shoulder straps are pretty comfortable given the size of the bag. Now I do feel that I have the bag fully loaded or a little bit overloaded because I carried that lunch and I use glass Tupperware containers. I don't use plastic. So the glass is actually pretty heavy with my ice packs, my Yeti bottle, or in this case, my mirror bottle with ice and water, everything. I do feel I have the bag a little bit overpacked, you know, given the style of the harness, but it is comfortable. But the overall fit is something, you know, I had a little bit of an issue with. Now, as you can see, the bag kind of pulls away from the top here, and it kind of feels that way, like it's leaning back. Now, I try to pull it high and tight. It kind of wanted to sit like right here. You know, it could also be my poor posture as well, but the bag kind of sinks in. It digs a little bit into the back there and kind of pulls away at the top. So I did have a little bit of issue with the fit of the bag, but to be fair, I do have the bag overloaded. But that said, overall, it carries pretty comfortable despite that it feels like it's pulling it away. I think that this bag is best used for medium to low capacity carries, like if you're carrying business papers and laptops, simple things like that. But a full-on lunch and stuff, you know, like how I have it loaded, probably not the best use case, but it still carried pretty well. Now for some likes and dislikes, pros and cons, if you will. The main thing that I really liked about the bag, of course, is going to be its overall aesthetic. It has a nice design language. It has that really premium look and feel to the bag with its leather top, leather accents, even right down to the leather on the zipper pulls. And of course, all of the aluminum gunmetal hardware that you can find on the front, the back. I mean, just nice touches throughout the bag. It gives it a real premium feeling and a really, really luxury style and look. I also really enjoyed this front pocket. It's nice to be able to grab your smaller items quickly from the front of the bag without actually having to open the top portion. So if I needed my AirPods, I needed a snack, one zip, I was able to get access to things I needed quick access to. Everything else in the main compartment can kind of stay there. We'll load in, load out once a day, but it's nice to have that pocket there on the front for your smaller, quicker items. Really thoughtful and really helpful so you don't have to get into the main compartment as often. And lastly, one of the things I also really enjoyed about the bag is how well it stands on its own, whether it is fully packed or not packed at all. That structured bottom with that leather bottom there, it just really, really stands well on its own. And when you're sitting there at your desk or when you have it sitting down somewhere, it just looks so good. And once you start using bags that stand on their own, you find how really useful that feature is, even though it may sound weird, but the fact that it stands on its own is a big plus in my book. So there are some areas that I wish could be improved upon and some things that I didn't like about the bag. The main one for me is the water bottle pockets. I didn't enjoy using these water bottle pockets because of the way they're constructed. They have an elastic at the top portion and not at the bottom. So instead of allowing the pocket to come out straight like this, it only comes out from the top and it gives you that V axis. So if you're using a slimmer bottle, fine, sits in there decent. But if you're using a larger bottle, like how I like to use, it sits at the very top and it kind of leans. So I kind of wish to see on a future iteration of the bag, they include the elastic at the top, middle, and bottom so the pocket comes out from the side. And again, on this one, it's only elastic at the top and it's only on one side. So the front maintains that leather look, so it doesn't have a lot of stretch and give. So this best going to be used for your slimmer, smaller bottles, but I wish I could still use my 26-ounce Yeti. So not a big fan of the water bottle pockets. A second kind of gripe of mine, and it could be just me, is the internal pocketing, especially that mesh pocket down way at the bottom. While I like they included that pocket way down at the bottom, the way I particularly loaded, and I imagine most people will load a top loader, your bigger, bulkier items are going to sit down at the bottom, thus eliminating the use of that pocket. Or if you do use anything in that pocket, it's going to, conflict with items that you're trying to load on top. So the organization could use a little bit of improvement. But again, if you're using lighter loads or carrying more school or business stuff, it's probably be okay for you. But for me in particular, I couldn't put anything in those pockets because it interfered with my lunch and my D-Mate dop kit that I was trying to load down at the bottom. So I would like to see, you know, a little different configuration of the internal organization. And lastly, something that is not included in this bag and I really wish it would be a luggage pass-through. And I'm kind of going to lump the laptop compartment in there as well. Now, it is advertised as suspended, but like I mentioned, it's barely suspended, so I didn't feel too comfortable. Every time I set my bag down, I had to be really careful. But I think an addition of the suspended laptop and a luggage pass-through would have been great, because this is such a beautiful bag. If you own some high-end luggage like Carl Friedrich or a Rimowa, the nicer end luggage, you want to pair that with a great looking luxury bag. And this is definitely in that look for the high class luggage. So I would like to pair this with, you know, a very fancy luggage, but the fact that it doesn't have a pass-through, luggage pass-through is not a deal breaker, but it would have been nice because, as we confirmed, this easily passes as a personal item, and I would love to pair this as you know, with a fancier luggage. Now, I'm somebody who likes to travel with a little bit of aesthetic, a little bit of style. I'm not the most stylish person you're ever going to meet, but if I have a high-end luggage, I do want to pair it with a higher-end looking backpack, and I think that combo would be really great. So I would like to see, you know, a future iteration, some way to incorporate maybe a vegan leather band across the back, and maybe move the laptop compartment up just a little bit more to add some more protection. So some final thoughts on the Maverickandco Maximus All-Day Backpack. Like I mentioned, this is supposed to be their larger bag, so it's going to be that sweet spot of everyday carry and maybe an overnight trip, a light weekend trip as well. So I think that this is best used as a medium use case bag, given the harness system. So I felt I overloaded it when I carried it, even though it still carried pretty comfortably. If you carry business papers, a laptop, work stuff, that's going to be a perfect use case. Or you want to take a simple overnight trip, throw a pair of shoes, a change of clothes, it's going to work fantastic for that. So this bag is going to work in that medium use case. If you're a heavy hauler, probably not going to be the bag for you. I also think that this is a great backpack if you wanted to dip your toes into that luxury style, that, you know, designer style of carry at this price point. While affordability is subjective to everybody's own budget, but for me, that $220 price point is a great entryway into that designer bag kind of category. It gives you all the things you want in a luxury designer bag, the leather look, the metal hardware. So again, a great starting point if you don't want to spend the $800-900 or even over $1,000 for your Louis Vuitton and your Prada bags and stuff like that, but you still want to have that nice luxury premium designer look. This bag is definitely going to meet that mark. And at that $220 price point, I think it's a great entryway if you're wanting that look without breaking the bank. So overall, I think it's a great backpack, and of course I love the way this backpack looks. You know, I did have a few nitpicks with the bag, but if I have a short trip, especially an overnight trip and an airline style trip, this is a great pack that I would want to carry and pair it with my luxury luggage. A great setup. I love the look. It's a great bag, and I feel that the price point, you know, I always judge things about price versus what you're getting in return, and I think that this is at a $220 value. I think it's actually a pretty good backpack given all the feature set and the luxury look and premium feel of everything about the bag. But of course, like on every video, I want to know what you think. Do you like this Maverickandco Maximus All-Day Backpack? What do you think about the leather accents and the top loading portions? Now, I know top loaders aren't for everyone, and there is no side access to get into the bag that most people want to see. But like I said, given this smaller frame of a bag and, you know, medium use case, I think it's perfectly fine without the side access. You're not going to be carrying your bigger, bulkier gym clothes and lunch and all your kinds of stuff in this bag anyway. But give me your thoughts. Let me know down in the comments. Do you own this bag? Have you thought about, you know, picking up something from Maverickandco? Because they do offer a lot of nice looking stuff outside of this backpack, you know, as well. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And of course, if you have any questions about this bag, you want to know how something fits specifically, you know, I will do my best to get that answer for you, but I always respond to every comment. The goal of this channel is to always help you find the perfect bag for you. So if you have a question, please comment down below. You can reach out to me there, follow me on Instagram. You know, anything you want to know with this bag, I'm going to do my best to help you find it to make sure you're getting the best bag for you. Now, if you made it this far in this video, thank you so much for sticking around to the end. I want to say thank you to Maverickandco for sending out this Maximus All-Day Backpack for me to test and review. Thank you very much. So don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Thank you for sticking around to the end. And as usual, I cannot wait to see you on my next review.